But let's get started in this best of one series between MetHiX and Harstem. Spawning in the top right hand corner as our blue Protoss player from Team Fnatic. It is Harstem. And he is facing off against the yellow Protoss spawning on the other side of the map. We have the yellow Protoss MetHiX playing for the Russian universe of Warhammer. And he's not even rocking that decal that should be floating next to his Nexus. But the Russian universe of Warhammer, a very good clan. They have some amazing players playing for them. So let's see. This is going to be a pretty close match. And MetHiX also on occasion does stream on Twitch. Not too much, but he was streaming yesterday, I do believe. Might even be streaming earlier today, but I did see a notification. But he is a very strong Protoss player for sure. Don't underestimate him. But let's see. Gateway quite a bit later for Harstem. He's only getting it at 14 supply right there. It's kind of weird to see something like that. Usually it's nicely tucked away on that 13 supply. Just rally your probe out when there's 12 out of 24 on your Nexus, and then you just go and get your gateway. But it was a little bit later this time for Harstem, but still MetHiX did not go for an insanely early gateway that it really does matter. And he's gonna go into double gas from this point forth. And he has been chrono boosting his Nexus quite a bit. It's so insanely low on energy, and immediately going up to 6 probes on those assimilators. His cybernetic score is now being morphed in. And what is MetHiX up to? He has sent out a probe to scout. He's also mining gas with 6 probes immediately. Still chrono boosting that Nexus quite a bit. He wants to get the workers out. He wants to get the economy out. So we will not see some gateway build, some gateway pressure build come down. The Zealot has started for Harstem, so that's why he is currently 2 supply ahead. So far MetHiX has completely forgone that. And the Zealot of Harstem might even be cancelled. Let's see what kind of build he wants to go for. Yeah, he does cancel it. Instead, he goes for a sentry. And it looks like Harstem wants to go for a pretty fast expansion of this. Otherwise, there's not really a reason to get those sentries out. But MetHiX also getting his second gateway down. He might be able to put on some 3-gate pressure, or at least some 3 stalker pressure on Harstem as that probe of MetHiX makes it to the base. And he will have a very nice scout of what exactly is coming down here. The sentry will guard the front, so the probe will not come in anymore. And the Nexus has now come down for Harstem, so pretty greedy opening from him. He really wants to get the economic edge, and he is following that up with a Stargate. Now 3 stalker pressure can be very annoying to deal with, but behind this, the Nexus is being built. He's actually not going for those stalkers. Actually, he just got his first sentry up too. So both players going for similar builds. Just the extra gateway is going to be the extra for MetHiX. That's going to keep him safer in the early stage of this game. But nothing too weird is going to come down. Now, very quick robotics facility is going to follow this up just in case there is going to be blink play. And of course, so far Harstem did not go for a scout out of his opponent. He is sending that probe across to scout at the top left corner, did not find anything. And he's going to find his opponent in the next base, but there is already a sentry waiting for him. Well, 2 sentries waiting for him, so I don't think that he's going to see anything. But it's already quite a big tell to see sentries at the top of that ramp. So the probe will get taken out. And the first hallucinated Phoenix will get a good scout out of what exactly is going to come down. A real Phoenix has popped out for Harstem. So we will shut down that scouting just a little bit easier. And looking at the probe count, it's still dead even. With those next side being taken at roughly the same times. So still, it's a very passive Protoss versus Protoss. Just a little bit of attack advantage. But MetHiX has gone into Phoenix production himself. Looking at the unit count, we do see 2 Phoenixes against 3 Phoenixes. Harstem did get his Stargate a little bit faster. He had those minerals a little bit faster. And of course he did have the gas. with going for those very early probes on his simulators. But still, we do see MetHiX. Well, he's still producing Phoenix, but he's also transitioning out of this with a Twilight Council that is currently being built. So you can go for Blink or even Archons, because Archons cannot be lifted by those Phoenixes. The hallucinated Phoenix of Harstem will also scout this out. We don't see a full-on battle of Phoenix versus Phoenix. No second Stargate being dropped down. Look at that. Even a Photon Overcharge to get rid of an hallucinated Phoenix. I'm pretty sure that MetHiX did not know that that was an hallucinated Phoenix, and he just responded very quickly to that. But still, 5 Phoenixes out for Harstem. How many do we have for MetHiX? We do have 4 here. And Harstem is still producing, and he's prepared to go for that air battle. He is getting that fleet beacon insanely fast. He changed his mind though. He cancels the fleet beacon right there. Instead, he's getting his mothership core. That's also something that he skimped on, so he can get those Phoenix out a little bit faster. He's still continuing that Phoenix production, but he's going for Immortals behind this. He's noticing his opponent is not focusing on those Phoenix solely, but 4 Phoenixes already. There is a Photon Overcharge in case it is necessary. Wants to go for a little bit of a poke. Loses one of the Phoenixes for free. Well, he got 1 probe for it, but that is not going to be worth it at all. Hallucinated Phoenix of MetHiX has been sent across the map once again. Will get a full scouted off. Sees that there's Chrono Boost on that Stargate. And if that Phoenix count gets out of hand, it still gets very annoying to deal with for MetHiX, because he can lift up all of the important units of MetHiX's army, like Immortals or something. They will negate all that damage. Also, Stalkers can be lifted if they are not high enough in numbers, and you have to keep units back at home for the defense. But Blink is going to be done. He blinks underneath one of the Phoenixes. Does not get it, but one of them does get very low on health right now. Now the third base has come down for MetHiX very early on. Phoenixes will try and go for another poke in that natural base, but the Phoenixes and 2 Stalkers are here to help out. Nice micro from Harstem, putting back those weakened Phoenixes, but how's this battle gonna go? He takes out all of the Phoenixes, but blinking forward. Oh wow, that one Phoenix. So insanely low on health. And it will start regenerating its shields. Only 11 health on that one. Wow, that can be very painful. The Stalkers did try to intercept him. Not quite getting them though. But the Phoenix count for MetHiX has been reset. He has completely transitioned out of this. But still being forced to produce those Stalkers can get very annoying. He's now even going to go for the lifts on top of those Stalkers. And they will get knocked out one by one. The Mothership Core even might go down. That would be a huge pick-off. But he has to retreat out of there. One of those Phoenix getting very low on health. And look at that. MetHiX has put down the proxy pylon. He can go on the aggression very soon. He has a lot of Blink Stalkers. They're going to be very powerful. But there are Immortals waiting here to intercept them. 3 Immortals, that's going to do a lot of damage. If they are lifted by the Phoenixes, of course, they will not receive the damage. But still, units are being kept back at home for MetHiX just to defend against those Phoenixes. How many probes did he actually get killed? 3 probes were killed off. Stalkers moving forward, trying to get something done. No blink for Harstem on those Phoenixes. But here is going to be the lift. All of those units do get lifted up. One by one they will drop, and those Immortals are going to take them out. This was pretty painful. And the entire attack does get cleaned up by Harstem. The power of Phoenixes, they are such a useful unit in the PvP matchup. But if you lose them, they are very expensive to replace. But Harstem has taken a very significant supply lead with this. Burkan still pretty much equal. He's trying to trade them away against the probes. They're not going to be too useful later on in the game. He's going to need that supply for other units too. But the Colossal production has started. Immortals and Zealot Charge are going to be produced for MetHiX. Getting those extra gateways down too. And at a 14-minute mark, 3 base versus 3 base products, that's when you know it has been pretty passive so far. Looking at the upgrades, pretty similar. Both players do have their 1-1 They're getting there 2-2, and the timing on that is actually pretty much equal. A few seconds difference, but not more than 10 at least. A charge also on the way for now, both players. MetHiX is opting to go for another Stargate and the Fleet Beacon to deal with the Colossi. He's not going for his own Colossi right now. And Tempest, they work pretty well, but you do have to remember, this map is pretty open in most spots. Like, if you can get your Tempest in this area to fight against the Colossi, you're gonna be in good shape. But in any other base, like if you're gonna fight here, you're gonna have a very tough time in positioning your Tempest correctly to get your damage done. And not that they will take the hits, because Archons, they do take out Tempest pretty quickly. But MetHiX is going to go for his 4th base now too. He's playing it pretty greedily. He wants to get that income going, but currently Harstem is on more probes, so I would not be surprised to see him take his own 4th base very soon. But they are going to be expanding towards each other quite significantly. Now this time Harstem is going to move out. He has 150 supply out of 190. He still has a lot of room to warp in more units. 3 more gateways about to finish up, and he can warp in quite a lot. Quite a few units, and of course no Colossi for MetHiX. He has his first 2 Tempests finishing up. Well, one is already out, the second one is about to pop. Nice wall up with pylons is already going to come down. It's going to limit the service area for the Zealots quite a bit. 4th base does get spotted. Harstem is putting his pylon down. But this is one of those locations where those Tempests are not going to be the most effective. This base is going to get cancelled. Behind this, Harstem is getting his own 4th base. And yeah, those Zealots do have to run away. And MetHiX cannot really take a fight at this point. He needs to buy time. He needs to get that Tempest Scout up higher. He's producing one more, another idle Stargate right there. But he needs to get that going, but he does not have the gas for it. He has plenty of minerals, just not the gas to really deal with this. But 3-3 is on the way. MetHiX even getting his +1 attack upgrade for those Tempests. And Harstem wants to go for the engagement. He's moving in. Hallucinated Colossus will bank quite a bit of damage. But it looks like... Are the Tempests focus firing? Yeah, but he's going on the hallucinated Colossus first. And that gets very painful. 4 Colossi doing so much damage from the back. And the Archons chipping in their extra splash damage. The Immortals are not doing extra damage against them. And there's going to be the GG. Harstem crushes the army of MetHiX and moves forward to the next round to face off against Primalot.